Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we are the Office Blokes. It is
You know it.
true.
You know it.
Yeah,
It's true.
If
Not
you don't
lying.
know, now you know, people.
Yep.
Be told.
Office Bloke Mike is going to tell you about our Patreon page really quick.
Oh, all right. And go to patreon.com and put in Office Blokes React. I've got tiers starting just £1.50. Got loads of block content, exclusive videos, and an exclusive weekly podcast as well, just for you on the Patreon channel. So yeah, so if you want to support us, that would be amazing. So go down there, check it out.
When does the podcast come out, Mike?
Weekly.
Friday
When Dave can be
evenings.
bothered.
When I can be bothered. It was Monday this week. But
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah.
It's usually Friday, isn't it?
yeah.
It's over there. Technical department over there.
Anyway.
Weekly. That's why I said
Yeah,
weekly.
weekly. It should be Friday evenings.
Yeah.
Right then. I want to say it's across the pond, isn't it?
Lost in the pond.
Lost in the pond. I get it wrong every single time with this channel. Lost in the pond. 7 outdoor objects I never saw before moving to America.
The only thing I can think that I saw when I moved to America
Outdoor
that I'd never seen over here is a fire hydrant.
That's one that sprung
Yeah.
to mind with me then straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
If you see them on like the pavements and sidewalks.
I can't think of anything else that I'd see.
What about those wacky inflatable arm flailing things?
You see them over here?
Do you?
Yeah, I've seen
I don't
them
think
in
I've ever seen one
places.
over here.
Yeah.
Outdoor objects. I don't know. I'm sort of baffled by that.
Seen.
I mean, I can't
Fire
know.
hydrant springs to mind. That's the only thing I can
Definitely,
think
yeah,
of.
because we don't really have them, do we?
No.
And not as such.
No.
So, off the top of my head, I can't think of another one.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into it.
Yep.
We'll
Yeah,
find
let's
out.
do it
won't we?
then.
I like this guy, by the way.
He's great.
He's good.
Great channel. I like how
he's
dry
from
he is.
Grimsby.
Grimsby. I know. Poor guy.
Not
7.
surprised he moved to America.
I know.
Yeah.
See why?
Yeah. 7 outdoor objects I never saw before moving to America. Then let's do it.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond. And speaking of lost, I'm starting to lose my marbles being in quarantine so long. And being here for now, I think it's 8 days, I've been giving some thought to some of the things that I miss about the outside world. And, you know, I'm not just talking about sort of fast food joints that are different in both countries, but sort of just really random mundane objects. You know, like a wheelbarrow, for example. I'm not suggesting we don't have wheelbarrows in England. That's an example of a mundane object. And I want to talk about specifically 7 of those objects that I hadn't seen until I moved to America. Yep, I'm really longing for those water towers, steel water towers specifically, because we do have water towers in Britain, but they're concrete and look really brutalist and like they were made in the 60s. In America, all across...
Can't think where I've seen one
There's
over
one
here.
on the way to on your way to Ormskirk, isn't there? Southport.
Yeah.
You go down the road there, mate, towards Ormskirk.
Yeah.
Got Ormskirk on the right hand side down there.
There was also one on Grand Designs where a couple converted it into
I
a
did,
house.
yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Why?
I know.
Just drilling through to put a window in, it was like
Oh, Jesus,
diamond
pal.
drill bits that were huge. It cost them a fortune.
So thick and all the
yeah,
walls,
yeah, it was
weren't
about
it?
2
So-
foot thick.
I've never
Yeah.
watched that show. It just seems out there.
I love Grand
I
Designs.
love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Absolutely love
I
it.
might have to
Yeah,
watch it if you're giving it credit.
Yeah.
Just seems out there, so...
yeah. No, I like it, man.
Across the country, they have these kind of water towers that are they're in the middle of nowhere usually, and they're made of steel, and on the facade of them they have the name of the town, and it's usually something like Snakesville. And you never see anybody near them or in them. I don't know what they'd be doing in them, perhaps replenishing the water. I don't know how water towers work. I just know that America has a lot of them, and you see them when you're on the highway, motorway, just like our next entry.
I used to import them for the prisons
Oh,
really?
in the USA.
It's
yeah.
a stupid question, but what they thought is it when towns haven't got main supply water or something? Is that
Fuck knows, I don't
literally
know how
it?
they work.
Well, they must fill them up somehow.
Yeah, and also you can come in like
From a
water
well. From
tankers,
like a
couldn't
well,
you?
won't they?
I'm just wondering what they're used for. If it's just for like sort of like an industrial part of the town where they need a lot amount
You
of
do see
water.
a lot of
or-
them. But I used
Yeah.
to import them for the prisons.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe they're just a backup.
Yeah, just I'm sure someone
Not a
will let
lot,
us know,
really,
won't
is
they?
there?
But there might be like a pre-mains water thing, but now
Yeah.
mains water is
It's
a thing,
there,
but
then
they're
it's
just still there as a
Old
backup.
relics and still
potentially.
there. Yeah.
You'd take them down, wouldn't you? A bit of an eyesore. David have about 4 in his back garden. Next to the caravan.
Handed
and
looking one.
loads of wood.
I'd convert one into a studio.
Strapped up against the side of it, pallets and everything.
Have you been looking in my garden recently?
Yes, highway-based billboards. Who would have thought? I certainly wouldn't have until I moved to the United States. And that's because we don't really have them in Britain. We do have them in city centres, but you're not going to find them on the side of the road, because it's distracting, especially when it says something, profound like Jesus has risen. You're going to take notice of that and, crash into the car in front of you. And if you don't have insurance, then you are screwed. Ironically, a lot of the billboards are...
I was going to say probably the same thing as you.
Yeah.
You do get them sometimes now on 40-foot trailers in farmers' fields, don't you? On the motorway.
You do. They're
not quite the same, though.
But if you go past, where the RAC building is on the M6,
Yeah.
leading up to that, but either side, there's loads of electronic billboards that have been erected.
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, you're
I've not
right.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
There's a batch of them there.
It's probably the only place I can think that they are on the motorways.
Well, you get the traffic
ones.
signs now where they put advertisements on them as well. I've seen them. Not advertising like this though. It'd be like, Man City at home on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Avoid traffic.
Information boards.
Information board, yeah.
are for insurance, so at least you know who to call. I joked a moment ago about the kinds of things you might see on American highway billboards, but the truth is, anyone can really get an ad on those things. They often say, advertise here if there's nothing on it. And unless you have
There's one right facing us, where Myerson's is massive one. Because I thought about putting, as you go into Altrincham, there's a massive one there. So I was thinking about putting the office blokes on there.
Yeah. Good idea. Yeah, we need to look.
Just reminded me then when he said anyone can put an advert on it.
There's one on the side of a house near me.
Really?
Is it?
Yeah, it's a busy road going into Northwich, and it's like an end terrace where there's probably the size of another house gap to go to the gardens.
Is he a big arrow saying brass?
Yeah, no, it's KFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's literally a legit.
Let's move on. You're going to say something there.
Yeah, it's like half the house.
Is it finger licking good?
Oh no.
There we go.
I drive past it all the time now and think, how much are they charging KFC?
How much for a fillet?
Oh my god! Press play.
How much for a breast?
Press play.
Move on.
They often say, advertise here if there's nothing on it. And unless you have A, no heart, and B, a death wish, you also wouldn't want to crash into the back of one of these. Yellow school buses. I didn't grow up here as a child, so of course I never got to ride one. Probably never will, unless I become a bus driver or a parent on some sort of school trip. Do they do that? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, growing up, I did see school buses, yellow school buses, in films like Superman and Forrest Gump. Those are just examples of films, but I didn't think they existed in real life. This was quite a revelation to me. They're everywhere. It's not just in Indiana where I live.
Great, aren't they?
Iconic.
Yeah.
They're like
bus, isn't it? That
like British black cabs.
The best one's the Clint Eastwood film, Dirty Harry.
Oh,
row your boat.
oh yeah, what film?
Yeah,
They have come over here now.
Yeah,
although they don't look like that, but they are more.
I think they're taking on the same thing about the school.
Yeah,
they have signs on the back of them or something.
Yeah.
But Bellevue have a fleet of them all in yellow, but not the double deckers. They're not like that.
I was going to say they're more like our type of buses, but just painted yellow, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's also in Chicago. It's everywhere. I mean, you do see these yellow school buses everywhere. And I recognise that the majority of my audience is American, and this is probably profoundly weird to hear somebody talk about how yellow school buses are very widespread in this country. But I don't think they're used anywhere else in the world, or at least to my knowledge. They're certainly not used in Britain. I used to get to school by jogging. That's not true. I did take the bus, but it was one of those sort of stagecoach buses, double-decker, so I got to sit on top, not at the back with the cool kids, at the front actually, and but they weren't yellow, and as you can see, I like yellow, and wearing this in solidarity with the school children. I'm not. It's the first thing I found in my wardrobe. I'd be lying if I said that yellow school buses were the only outdoor object that I'd learned through the films. That also applies to our next entry. White picket fences, the like of which you see in the film American Beauty and other such suburban-based films. It reminds me of American suburbia now that I've lived here long enough, but for the longest time, it was just part of the sort of movie set for me to make something look very pristine and idyllic and all of that.
Front gardens aren't a massive thing over here, though, are they?
They usually like bulldoze to fit cars on, aren't they? These days,
a lot of driveways.
a lot of driveways. I think you do still get some like that, don't you? If you go to places like Dunham. You tend to see like small picket fences here and there.
Yeah.
dotted about.
More villagey sort of like.
Yeah.
Over here we're more sort of like walls, aren't we? And you sort of like your big sort of fence panels and things like that, really.
Bushes.
Yeah.
You'll occasionally see white picket fences here in different parts of Chicago. They're kind of rare, I suppose. But you do tend to see them at houses of families who've really taken care of their garden. Okay, and in Britain, we don't have these kind of fences. A lot of our gardens are sort of framed off by brick walls or sometimes just shrubs and bushes and things. That's not a euphemism. You'll also see in the US mesh fences around gardens as well. They're kind of low down, they're just high enough
link.
that dogs can jump over them, but never do because they're too stupid. And they seem like they're there to just sort of stop people from breaking in, especially those fences that have beware of the dog on the side. Now, please, America or anyone watching this, don't take this as...
I've not got a fence at the back of the garden.
Put a chain link in, Dave. Do us proud. Come on. It fit your profile with the caravan and the water tower and the wood.
Well, I don't have a front garden.
The ongoing bonfire.
Yeah, I do need a big fire. I've not got a front garden, so it'd have to be the back, and I am in the market for a fence at the back of the
You've
garden.
probably got. I bet you've got a piece of rope hanging from a tree as well. It's like supposed to be a swing, but it's never been used. As
It's just a big knot at the bottom. There's no wood there, and it's broken.
The tree in my garden is well too big to get up to put a piece of rope. It's humongous.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll get the ladder off your car, so get up there and tie it on then.
There's a green light to think you can go and burgle people's houses in Britain. That they still have security measures and fences too. I'm underplaying it, but we don't have white picket fences. We also don't have these. Allow me to clarify, our houses do have mailboxes in the United Kingdom, except our mail doesn't go into a mailbox, it goes into a letterbox, and our mail's called the post. I hope that was clear. And those letterboxes are usually on the front.
We have a mail room. It doesn't come from a letterbox, it goes into a mailbox.
Yeah, have that as well.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have all of your post in front of your house. People would mess with it. People would steal it. I know it's illegal, but it'd happen, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh, of course it would over here.
I remember you used to put, if you had mail for the mailman to take, you used to put the little flag up on the side.
Yeah.
And he'd take the mail and then put it in and put the flag down.
No, they take it as well.
Yeah.
How many divorces have happened because you forgot to put the fucking flag up again? That's important.
I don't touch the mail. I don't even have a key for our mailbox.
Well, the thing that
anyone that sends mails, fucking 1970s, aren't they now?
Yeah, or after something. It's a inland revenue, or
and it won't be on here because it's not like an object. But the way do they really still throw newspapers as well at the doors?
Yeah, the paper boys.
They just
throw
throw
them
them
in a plastic bag. They're in plastic bags.
Yeah,
and they just
right.
All the houses there. Just lob it on your driveway. Mine used to come on the driveway in like a big blue bag.
Yeah,
I used to go out and get it.
Yeah,
might as well fucking walk to the shop.
I bet people over here, you'd have like a big pile on your driveway, wouldn't you?
It'd float away. I'd nick it to start my fire with. Like,
easy like the paper boys and paper girls, wouldn't it? Just throwing them on the driveway.
Yeah.
What do you think? Paper boys and paper girls have a hard life.
Anyway. Door, right? So letterman or postman, that's letterman is a chat show host. Postman, post women, post people, right? They have to go right up to the door and become intimate with your house. Not so in the United States, or at least not always. You will have those kind of houses where just in front of their garden or yard, they'll have a mailbox that's sticking on kind of a pole, and there's just this tube, I suppose, a metal tube into which you put things, and then people have to go out and get it. I suppose it does promote exercise, which is needed in these quarantine days. We just don't want to come into contact with the post people or mail people. It doesn't matter what you call them. They're the same entity. Well, the different people. You get the point, basically. Don't touch the post people. And if you do, wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap, making sure not to get your water from one of these.
There you go.
I'll tell you a story. When I was 19 years old, I was a big gamer. I was well into video games, and one of the video games that I played was a little game called Die Hard with a Vengeance. And you're just swanning around New York City, I think, probably, and you can crash your car into just stuff, right? And one of those stuffs was a fire hydrant, a very American-looking fire hydrant that looks like this. They're more or less cylindrical, speaking in a pitch that only dogs recognise, and I only described them as that to differentiate them from fire hydrants in Britain. Fire hydrants in Britain are nowhere near as sexy, and believe me, I didn't think I'd wake up today and say that either. They're just these brutalist-looking square things with an H on them, and no, they're not for landing miniature helicopter, nor do they signify a hospital. I actually don't know what they do. If a fire breaks out in the middle of the road, when does that ever happen?
You thought it was a headstone for that guy at Steps?
Yeah.
No, just popular guys are everywhere.
But we have stuff like that all over the place, and some of it's electrical cable, some of it's like sewage and things like that. I just never knew that was specifically for that purpose.
Yeah. Kind of like screws and pops.
It's got the big fitting for it, hasn't it? For the machines. Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know how to operate these things, right? Who does? The experts. Whereas American fire hydrants are absolutely gorgeous. They kind of look like elongated fireman helmets. Was that on purpose? Again, for the benefit of the dogs. It can't have been, and I'm absolutely certain I wouldn't have made the correlation had I not been stuck in here for 8 days. I'm going mad. You know, how does the outside world look right now? Do people still have wind chimes? Do they still, do they still raise these? The American flag, and I suppose there's a very good reason as to why I didn't encounter this until I moved to America, and it's because it's America's flag, so that makes total sense right off the bat. I think in Britain, pound for pound, we probably, or at least when I lived there, didn't fly the flag, the British flag, as much as America tends to fly its flag.
Do you know why?
I know all of the right-wing propaganda about why we don't fly flags.
That's exactly why.
That's what it's seen as, isn't it?
It's nonsense.
Yeah. It's not.
It's nonsense.
You put a flag up outside your house and watch how fast the council come round and tell you to take it down.
I'd be very surprised.
Really? Do it.
I will.
You might get away with it where you live.
I know,
They've all got them up.
But you put
everyone's got Confederate flags up near me.
You put a flag up. And the council come and say to take it down.
No, I never knew that.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I'm not having that.
I know something's happened to.
Most town halls have got the British flag.
It's in the right places. They'll put them up.
Yeah.
But you hang one from your house, or put one up in your garden or whatever. And
what about during the football when England flags?
That's the only way.
The biggest problem.
That's the only time you probably get away with it.
That's when it comes around with the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah. How bizarre.
I know something's happened to.
If a councillor told me that, I would tell them where to go.
Absolutely.
I'd say, what are you going to do about it?
I don't think by law they could do that anyway, can they?
You go to Windsor Castle and take that flag down here.
Yeah.
Buckingham Palace, take that flag down
Precisely,
here.
Exactly.
I'd just say you're overstepping your bounds here. Like say on what law? What bylaw? What is it?
Wrap it round him, pull it tight. I'd be like, serious? I'm waiting for him to knock on. I haven't got a flag up anyway.
I'd just look at him and say, you died for that flag.
Yeah, it's a big issue.
And they say, what? You're threatening me? And I'm like, no.
It's a big issue of them coming around telling you to take it down, advising you to remove it.
Advising?
Yep.
Right.
It's very culturally ingrained to do that, isn't it? My in-laws do it. Everybody does it. Even educated fleas do it. That would be impossible. They don't have the strength to lift up fabric. But they're bloody smart, hence being educated. I don't know how I got sidetracked there. But yes, the US flag is absolutely everywhere. Again, this is not just something you'll see in films. And I think there's an understanding that Americans are deeply patriotic. How do you pronounce it? Let me know in the comments below. And it's not just outside of people's houses that you'll see these flags. You'll see them on the back of trucks. You'll see them hanging on sort of company buildings. Don't know why I pronounced it like that. And just sort of everywhere. I mean, it really is everywhere. Sometimes you'll see absolutely huge American flags, and you can usually see them for about 5 miles away. That way at least you know what country you're in. And so that's it. 7 outdoor objects I only encountered after moving to America. I just wanted to list those to remind us of what we're missing. I mean, admittedly, we're missing quite a bit more than those things. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at LostInThePod.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, is anything you can think we have outdoors here that you don't see in America?
See, I was just thinking along the taxi front. Obviously, you see the yellow taxis over there, don't you? Which is pretty iconic, aren't they? Yep. But then we've got the black cabs over here, which is a bit of a difference.
Telephone boxes, the red telephone boxes.
Yeah, you don't see many of them anymore.
I remember when my kid came over first time, or when he was younger. He was, from the USA, and he said to me, "What are all these little red houses I keep seeing?" And I went, "What? I don't know what you're on about."
That's where the gremlins live.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's where the bogeyman lives. If you don't go to bed in time tonight, he's going to come out of that red building and come and get you.
Take you apart.
Bites people's heads off. But I said, telephone boxes. And he went, yeah, you'd never seen them before.
Yeah, it's true.
You
Actually,
have
so-
telephone. You have like outdoor telephones. But you don't have them in the red box like we have them.
I suppose the red post boxes then as well.
Yeah, saw a couple over the weekend, but I think one had like an ATM in it or something like that.
They do, yeah.
Built in.
Yeah.
I think it was in Glasgow where we saw it.
I saw someone using a phone probably
Using a
about
payphone.
3-4 weeks ago.
No, yeah.
Using a payphone, I was like,
That's suspicious.
that's exactly exactly what I said, Dave.
You don't get
Were they having a
What's
piss
it?
at the same
I
time?
actually went that.
Look at the cards on the wall.
Pointed right at him and went, "What's he up to?"
Yeah, that
But
is hard.
you don't see many at all. Not just the red boxes, because obviously a lot have been taken down, haven't they?
Yeah.
But even they made new ones, didn't they, that were just perspex and stuff. I mean, even those you don't see many of them, do you? At all.
There's a red one near my little boy's school.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, a working one of
Yeah.
the old-fashioned ones.
Yeah.
Working
But
as
that's
well?
that's
Wow.
like it's country sort
Yeah.
of, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sort
I
of
think they're
place.
probably trying to keep a few now, aren't they, for sort of
Yeah.
like historical
Yeah.
reasons and things, which I think they should.
Until someone complains that there's a problem with them and dates back to whatever, and they have to take them all down.
Yeah, someone keeps pissing in it, and
No, that won't be the problem. You get what I mean?
I can't think what else though. Obviously, the black cab, the red phone boxes, the red post boxes.
fencing we do have different type of fence. It's usually that wavy overlap type of fencing, isn't it?
Shiplap.
Shiplap, that's the one. There's a lot of that.
Harold
a lot of that going about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else really. Potholes in the roads.
Got a lot of them.
Yeah, architecture's maybe quite a bit different in certain parts
No,
of
I'm talking about
the
little
country.
objects.
Yeah,
like
it's
fire
quirks,
hydrants,
isn't it? It's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
I don't know. Interesting one that though.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget like and subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.